On the night of May the 30th, the Ukrainian Defense Forces successfully hit the Kerch ferry crossing with ATACMS missiles. This was stated by the Ukrainian General Staff.
The Ukrainian Defense Forces attacked the Kerch ferry crossing, which was actively used by the enemy to support their group of troops in the temporarily occupied Crimea with ATACMS missiles. It should be noted that this object was covered by modern Russian air defense system Panzer, Tor, Triumph. However, the missiles, which have been in service since the 90s of the last century, successfully penetrated the newest anti-aircraft shield of the invaders. General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine on Facebook.
Receiving ATACMS ballistic missiles with a range of 300 kilometers means that Ukraine can now hit any target in the Russian-occupied Crimea and lethally.
One of these modifications has a cluster warhead, and there are 275 exploding elements, 275 small bombs that fly in different directions and explode in the air, explode on the ground. They are created precisely in order to destroy the accumulation of equipment.
Ukraine has every chance to conduct a successful military campaign in Crimea. Ben Hodges, a former commander of US forces in Europe and a senior NATO logistics advisor, says Russia has invested significant resources in developing Crimea's military infrastructure during its occupation. Now all of it is under threat, notes The Economist.
Ukraine's campaign is a mixture of a military and political strategy. Politically, it is Russia's most vital asset, but it is also very vulnerable. Nico Lange, former advisor to their German defense ministry, in an interview with The Economist.
Analysts say Ukraine's goal is to isolate Crimea, push Russian air and sea forces away from the south of Ukraine and eliminate all Russian military capabilities on the peninsula as a logistics hub. And in this, the Ukrainian armed forces are held by an arsenal of Storm Shadow and Scalp cruise missiles, their own sea and air drones. Very important, according to experts, is the defeat of Russian air defense systems on the temporarily occupied peninsula.
Crimea is completely under attack from the Ukrainian army, now without any disclaimers. It is completely covered by Storm Shadow and Scalp and partially by the modified Neptune missiles, which also flies over 300 kilometers. It is in fact clearing the sky for F-16s, which have cruise missiles with a range of up to 180-200 kilometers. For them, the sky needs to be cleared, so that there are fewer enemy missile systems that could threaten them.
On the night of May the 29th, the 30th, UAVs attacked the Neba SVO long-range radar detection complex. The cost of the complex is $100 million. The Ukrainian armed forces have already successfully destroyed Russian launchers as a result of the defense forces' strikes on the military airfield in Jankoy on the territory of temporarily occupied Crimea. 4 launches of the S-400 anti-aircraft missile system and a number of other objects were hit.
The S-400s are also vulnerable to sabotage by Ukrainian special forces operating inside Crimea. Each battery costs about $200 million, and they are not easily replaceable. Russian forces have no place to hide. With the help of satellite and aerial reconnaissance provided by NATO allies, the Ukrainians own deep knowledge of the territory and covered forces on the ground. Nothing can move in Crimea without the Ukrainians knowing about it. From an article by The Economist.
General Ben Hodges, former commander of US Army Europe, is confident that Ukrainians will destroy the Kerch Bridge when they are ready. However, a potentially more difficult task will be the destruction of a new railway line running along the Sea of Azov from Rostov through Mariupol and Berdyansk to Crimea. Representative of the Southern Military Command of Ukraine, Dmytro Platonchuk, believes that this railway in the occupied territory is a safety net for the Russians, since they realize that sooner or later they will have problems. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Victoria Smirnova, UATV News.